Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Karen. What up, NoHo, young adult in the house? Come on, we got a little young here. We're young adults. We're running around. Okay. So yes, I am Alex Robert Holmes. I'm a practitioner intern at this center. If you don't know what that is, I will say this until I get my license. Please, if there's a situation in your life, a condition, an experience that you are experiencing or having that you do not like and you need to know the truth about, you can come to me and I will know the truth for you for free. For free. There are very, very, very many brilliant minds in this center, and most of them have to charge you. But there are several brilliant minds, such as my own, such as A.J. Nowak, Laura Donato, Lisa Stanley, Lisa Johnson, Michelle Roberts, Mary Sala, Diane Cantwell. I think Diane Cantwell's the only one here tonight. There she is. That will do it for free. So we need you as much as you need us. So if you have something in your life that you would like to know the truth about, please come to us. We will help you know the truth about it. So, tonight, as Jonathan said, he's leaving. We no longer have a young adult minister here for our young adult services. He's got his own church up in Toronto, as he just told you. So, but when he found that out, he came to me and he said, you know what, I want you to give the talk at my last young adult service. I was like, okay, I can do that. I've talked on the stage before. That's cool. I've given the word from the pulpit. He's like, no. You've given a power talk before. And I was like, yeah, it's the same thing. No, this is a 20-minute talk. I was like, okay. He's like, I want you to talk about the divinity of man. I'm like, okay. I want you to give me all your notes and what you're saying, what your quotes are. Okay. Later in the week, he tells, Reverend James that I'm giving the talk, and James is like, I want all your notes, all your quotes, what you're saying. Like, what happened to let Alex get up here and free flow for a little while? Come on, where's the love coming on? But then James did say, he said, you know what, it's not like I don't trust you. Of course I trust you, and I trust Jonathan, but, give everything to Jonathan, because it is my center, and I want to know what you're talking about. And if he has any questions or any concerns, he'll bring them to me, but we did fine. We did fine. So, so we're talking about divinity tonight, and when I was preparing this talk, I knew about this talk 3 weeks ago. When I was preparing this talk, I had practitioner homework I had to do, so I did that first. Because now I was a little worried about handing in my notes and all this stuff. It seemed like it was a bigger deal than it really was. So now I'm getting a little worried about it. And so I'm like, I'm going to do my homework first. Oh, no, there's a song I'm working on. I'm going to finish that for this little thing over here. Oh, no, Josh and I are recording a song. I'm going to practice that first. So I chose to procrastinate. And guess what? Karen Mitchell, it's all God. It's all good. And honestly, that's why I love this song, because it really takes us deeper in this teaching. It says you can choose fear, you can choose hate, you can choose love. You might not do that on a conscious level. You might do that on a habit or pattern that you have in your memory, in the seeds of your memory, but yet you're choosing it. And that's a divine choice because you are a divine being. So yes, choosing fear is God, is good. And that takes us to a deeper understanding of this teaching. And this teaching sometimes can get a little frou-frou, a little fluff-fluff, like James will say. Might not say fluff-fluff. I'm gonna take that one. You take frou-frou, I'll take fluff-fluff. Okay, a little fluff-fluff. And we hear fear, we hear hate, we hear poverty, and that's why I gave Jonathan the evil eye. I'm like, don't go there. I'm going there in just a minute. And we're like, no, I don't want that. We don't want fear. Of course we don't want fear, but we do choose it by habit at times. We do choose hate by habit at times. But we don't want it. It's like, no, that's not God. But yes, it is. Yes, it is, because we are God and we are choosing it. So it takes us to a deeper understanding. It expands our consciousness with this song that she brought. And it made me think of an instance that happened after a Sunday service where James now lets me sing my song, Message, at the end of every service, which I love. I love singing it as much as he loves hearing it. So you'll hear it later tonight, don't worry. Where the chorus goes, I can't live without your love, I can't live without your light, I can't live without your message. I can't live without your warmth, I can't live without your wisdom, I can't live without your message. And someone after service one day came up to me and said, oh, I just love your song, it's so beautiful, you sing it so well, but I just don't like the word can't. I was like, oh yeah, I guess, can't's not a good word, and I guess, okay, but you sing it beautifully. He's like, okay, well, thank you, and I kind of brushed it off, but it kind of got to me a little bit. Not because it's my song, not because I felt like she didn't like my song or this person didn't like my song. I don't want to say who this person is. But it just, I don't like the word can't. And I thought about it, and I'm like, okay. And I used the word can't quite a bit in the song. It said like 6 times in the chorus. So, and I'm thinking, okay, well, if you can't, I guess you can live without God's love. Do you want to? I guess you can live without the light, but do you want to? And then, no, I went even further than that, and I said, no, you can't. I can't live without God's love because I am God's love. I am embodying in God's love. I can't live without the light because that light shines within me and comes forth. I can't live without the message because I'm here on this stage speaking the message and spreading the message. So no, I cannot live without God's love because I am it. We are the embodiment of God. We are one with that divine power, that individualized creative expression that we are is God. So we have to be the love. We have to be the light. So no, we can't live without it. We cannot be separate from it. Wherever we go, whatever we do, we are not separate from it. So no, I can't because I am. A lot of times we say, I can because I am. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, you can't because you are. It's a rant and a half, I know, but that was my reaction to that about a day later. I was walking the dog thinking of that one. So, but Karen's song brought that out of me, and it really it took me to a deeper understanding of my song, and I wrote it. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's in there. Holy cow. But it expands our consciousness that we're trying to raise to a higher level when we're here, when we're learning, when we're teaching, to live it in life. And I want to tell you a story about this lovely North Pole area here. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before. This rope right here comes down right to where you guys are sitting. And I stand on that rail right there, and I swing upside down over the audience. I come back, I hook my feet right under that railing there, and I land right in front of you. I won't hit you, but I land right in front of you. And 2 Saturdays ago, I did that on Saturday night, and all of a sudden my hip went, and I had no idea what happened. So, but it hurt, and it hurt quite a bit. And usually what I do, I stop right in front of a little kid, and he looks at me, he's like hiding, and he looks at me, he's like, and I say, are you okay? He's like, yeah. I'm like, me too. And I said that on Saturday. I was like, I just lied to a little kid. So I hobbled around, and that's at the beginning of the show. And I hobbled around for the rest of the show because I've got to, I still got more swinging to do, more dancing to do. Got to run into a 6'4", 200 and some one-eyed Winky. I guess if you haven't seen the show, that sounds kind of creepy. Come see the show, and then you'll understand what that is. So I did the rest of the show with my hip in a lot of pain. And but at the end of the show, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go home. I know what to do. I'm going to ice it, heat it, stretch it, ice it, heat it, stretch it, rinse and repeat, because my hip's been sore before, and that's what I've done in the past, and that always works. So that's what I'm going to do. So in the next morning, I have Sunday service. In the morning, I have to go set up. And then I had a memorial service that I was singing at. I was hired to sing at, just a mile away from the Assistance League, so I didn't have to go too far, which is great. And then I had the Sunday matinee here. So I get up, and I put my feet on the floor, and I start to walk, and I'm like, It hurt even more than it did the day before. And so I was like, well, I got to go. I have to go to service. I have to set it up. I mean, I can't stop now. And then I've got to sing at the memorial service, and I got to do the matinee, so I have to go. So I grab my guitar, and I'm hobbling around, and I get in my car, and I go to service. Everybody saw it. I was walking up and down the aisle, still hobbling, and like, Doug comes up to me. He's like, what happened to you? He's like, I want to walk like John Wayne for a day. What? But no, I kept telling everybody, I hurt my hip. I don't know what I did, and what I had thought was going to help it, get it better, did not work. So now I'm a little worried that I don't know what I'm supposed to do with my hip, but yet I have to keep going. So I do service, and I go over to and sing at a memorial service, beautiful service. I didn't know these people whatsoever, but they heard me sing my song, and they said, can you please come and sing at this, our memorial service? I said, of course. So I went and I sang at that. It was a beautiful service. That didn't get done until 2:45. Show's at 3 o'clock here, and I'm over there. So I get in the car, I hobble to my car, and I get in the car, and I come over here, and I get here, and the show's already started. There's a whole scene and song before I come on or anything like that, so I don't get dressed until they call places anyway. Everyone's all ready to go, and it's like, okay, places. I'm like, all right, I'm going to start getting dressed, guys. So Jonathan can attest to it. So I don't know why I'm starting undressed, though. That's a bad thing. So I get here, and the show's already going, and Curtis is out front. He's like, I'm glad you could join us. I'm like, well, thank you. Giving, a little sassy Curtis like he always is. Is he here? Curtis, are you sassy here? No? No? Okay, he'll hear about it later, I'm sure. And so, but I get dressed, and I get enough time to get up, and I come out of James's office, and the first thing I do is hop right over this railing, jump on the ladder, and start singing the song. And I come over, I pop over the lamp, I look at James because he's in the booth running the lights. I'm like, hi, I'm here, don't worry about it, ha-ha. And then I come down, I do the whole number, I come on this rope, I swing, I come back, I hook, and like, oh, that's right, that's what hurt before. Now I'm in the same spot I was just the day before. I was like, you okay? Yeah, me too. Just lied to a kid again. Let's do it again. So I did the whole show again, running into the one-eyed Winky and all that stuff, dancing and all that. And by the time I get done with the show this time, we come out after curtain call, and we meet with the kids. And the kids come sit on Santa's lap, and they come meet the pirates. We give them a pirate name. We give them a pirate's whistle. And by the time we get to that point, I just sit down because I'm about to pass out. My whole body is tingling from head to toe. My hip is throbbing. I can barely move it at this point, and I don't know what I did. Now I'm thinking I really, really injured my hip beyond something that I've ever felt before, because it's more painful than I've ever experienced before. And I'm thinking I dislocated it, I pulled it, I tore it, I did something to it. There's a fracture there. I don't know what it is, and now I'm very afraid. I'm worried because I'm thinking I should go home and just ice it, heat it, stretch it, but that didn't work before, so why would that work now? And so I just go home and I try doing the same thing, and I wake up the next morning and it still hurts quite a bit. I go into class on Monday with James in 350 practicum, and I walk in and he's like, what did you do? I mean, you don't look good. I'm like, I don't know. I'm really, really scared about it. He's like, you should call Dr. Rob. And Diane Camp was like, oh, call Dr. Rob. Everyone was like, call Dr. Rob. He's amazing. Dr. Rob. Dr. Rob. I'm like, who is Dr. Rob? Why does he have a choir preaching at me right now? So I get Dr. Rob's number from Diane after class, but it's 10:30 at night, so I'm not calling him now. So I'm going to call him in the morning. So when I get off of work at 10 o'clock, I'm about to call him, but my mom calls me first. She's like, how was your weekend? I was like, well, Mom, what did you do? I'm like, no, Mom, settle down, don't worry. She can, tell right away when I've done something wrong. So, and I tell her that, I hurt my hip, and I don't know what to do because it really hurts, and I can't really walk around all that much. And I don't know how to get it. I don't know what to do to get it fixed. I don't know where to get it fixed, and I don't know if I can afford to get it fixed. And so now I've thrown all this worry, all this fear, all this doubt into this situation that I have right now, which I chose to have. But it's all good. It's all good. And then she said, "Well, what do you think you need to do now?" I was like, "Well, James gave me the number of a doctor called Dr. Rob, and he says he can help." And immediately she's like, oh, James gave you a number for that? Oh, great. That's perfect. That's fine. Her worry was gone. I was still holding on to it a little bit. And so I was like, what kind of doctor is he? I was like, I don't know. I just know he's great. He works miracles. Did something with Diane's neck, and oh my God, it's fine. And so I was like, I'm gonna give James a call, and then I'll call you back, Mom. Okay? Okay. So I called James. I'm like, hey, James, this is Alex. I'm about to call Dr. Rob for my hip, but I want to know, what does he do? It's like, I know he's a doctor, but what does he do? Well, he's a holistic chiropractor. It's like, oh, I don't know what that is. Okay. So I know what a chiropractor is. I've never been to a chiropractor before. I've never had to go to a chiropractor before. I definitely don't know what a holistic chiropractor is. So, and I started just pouring on James, saying, I don't know if I've torn it, if I need an MRI or X-rays or something like that. What if a chiropractor can't help me with what I've done to my hip? And he's like, settle down. Whatever, he's going to figure out what's wrong with your hip, and if he can't fix it, he's going to refer you to someone that will. It's like, okay, he's making me feel a little better. Still hanging on to that fear, though, that I have. And then James says, you know what? I have to go in and see him for my neck, so I'll make an appointment for me. I'll make an appointment for you. I'll call him right now, and we'll take care of it. I'm like, okay, great. He's latching onto my fear, too, and taking care of it. Great. He's reading it. So he calls me back, and he says, you're at tomorrow at 10:40. You were at 10:20. Great. So we get there, and I'm still going to work and back and forth and all this stuff, and I'm walking like this the whole time. And I try to stretch my leg out. I usually take my foot and put it on top of my knee, and I just kind of push my hip gently open to open it up a little bit. Of course, it was with the other hip. And before I tried to do it the night before, and I could barely get my leg to cross over my other one because it hurt so much. I couldn't use it, and I've been using it. I've been walking around and using it so much that I didn't know what was wrong with it. But I go to Dr. Rob, and James is sitting there in the waiting room, and he gets called in. I get called in a few minutes later. We're in separate rooms. He lays me on my stomach. He hooks electrodes up to my back and my glutes, and he turns them on. I say, crank it up a little bit more, please. He's like, okay. And then then he goes works on James for 15 minutes, then comes back to me, and then he does this little thing. It felt like a little mini jackhammer going up and down either side of my spine. I don't know what it was, but it was amazing. He got over here to my hip, and I'm like, if I was a dog, I'd be like, ah. So, and then he does he readjusts my hips and stuff like that. There was no cracking. There's always like, chiropractor, you want cracking of bones. That's what I always think. If there's no cracking, I'm like, where's the cracking? I want some cracking. But there was no cracking. So, and then he tries to stretch my leg out. And he gets it about to a 90-degree angle, which is further than I got it last night. And he goes a little further, like, no, that's not going any further. He's like, okay, where does it hurt? Like, right in the front. What does it feel like? Like, it's a very, very sharp pain. If you go any further, I feel like it's going to snap my leg in half. He's like, that's very specific. Like, thank you, I think. So he says, I'm going to do one more thing with you. I'm like, okay. So it's a guided thing. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to give you a word to think about. It's usually an emotion. And I'm going to give you a number. I'm going to tell you to do an eye position with your eyes closed. And then I'm going to come and touch your head. And I want you to lift your head up and then put it back down. He's like, okay. He grabs both of my feet and lifts them off the table. And he's just kind of doing this. And so my legs are doing this in the middle of kind of like just working my hip joints in their sockets. He's doing this. Okay, I want you to think of the word adore and the number 2. He's like, okay, adore, number 2. I like to be adored. Someone just said to me that they adore me. I'm like, oh, that was so nice. Oh, that's really great. Number 2. 2 is the only even prime number there is. It's a pretty amazing number if you think about it. Okay, and then he's like, okay, I want you to close your eyes and look down. So I did that. Hear him walk up. He touches my head. I lift it up. I put it back down. I'm like, okay. And he picks him up again. I want you to think of the word true and the number 3. Okay, true, 3, true, 3. Look down. Okay, look down. Touch my head. All right. Good. Okay, you're done. What? What do you mean I'm cracking? I didn't say that to him. But I said, okay. He's like, well, no, where's the cracking? I want the cracking. I want to hear it. I want to know that it's fixed and something. I don't want this and 2 and a door and 3. What is it? I don't know what the heck. He said, now get up and let's see how you're doing. So I put my legs to the side of the table and put my feet on the floor, and I get up and I go. I could walk perfectly, normally. I wasn't limping. I just took a step. My hip was a little sore, was a little tender. I could still feel the inflammation in the psoas muscle, but I was walking just fine. I didn't walk in there. I hobbled in there. I walked out. I had no idea what he just did. No idea what he just did. No clue. And I think it was later that night at service, I was like, James was like, how did it go? I was like, well, he did this weird thing. It was like, think of a word and number. He's like, oh, you got the best treatment. I was like, I didn't think it was the worst one. I was like, you said he was really good. Why would I get the worst one? It's like, no. B.E.S.T, it stands for something. So I'm gonna read this to you. It's bioenergetic synchronization technique. B.E.S.T is a non-forceful energy balancing hands-on procedure used to help reestablish the full healing potential of the body. Understanding the body makes no mistakes regarding health and longevity. B.E.S.T principles acknowledge the concept of interference we create with our conscious mind. I read that and was floored. I was like, what did he just do to me? This is ridiculous. There was something, oh my God, there was something in my conscious mind. So whatever I was, oh my gosh. And we hear James say it, we read it in Ernest Holmes, there are no mistakes, none have been made, none will ever be made. Our body doesn't make any mistakes. Our body knows what to do. So my body wasn't making a mistake. It was something in my conscious mind interfering with the body and its senses, with its energy flow. What I had chosen, I don't know. Well, maybe it was, hold on. Okay, the treatment I got it's called emotional treatment, emotional B.E.S.T. Emotional B.E.S.T utilizes advanced technology developed to update higher brain interference from expression in the physical body. When emotional thoughts such as worry, fear, doubt, guilt, and judgment, just to name a few, become the overriding factor in our memory patterns, interference with the divine plan of our perfect health and wellness becomes the norm. This interference, formulated by conscious thought, which in turn becomes pattern, prevents the true expression of our physical body's healing capability. So there was something in my conscious mind that created my hip hurting. What is that? The mental equivalent. I was equal to what my hip was doing. I didn't want to accept that at the time. When it happened, like, oh no, I don't know what happened. I didn't do it. Why would I do this? This is stupid. Why would I want this to happen? But I finally came to terms that I was equal to it. I'd been avoiding it the whole time. I was equal to it. And now with all this worry, this fear, this doubt in my mind, it was sending messages to my hip that that's the norm. This pain right now is the norm for you. This hobbling that you're doing now is the norm for you. You're going to have that until you get rid of the interference in your conscious mind and get the energy flowing back through your hip. So I had to go, and this is an actual title, B.E.S.T practitioner. B.E.S.T practitioner. He could put it on a certificate. Dr. Rob could if he wanted, who is an elite master of the B.E.S.T principle, the B.E.S.T technique that I'm talking about. So one of the best people to go to for the best of the best. You're the best around. So I had to go to a practitioner to get the energy flowing through my hip again to realize that it was something in my conscious mind that I needed to change my thinking about to get me to walk. And it wasn't like I could walk in a little bit. I could walk a week later. No. He did it. I accepted it. I walked. I think Jesus did that, right? Went to the lame and said, you can walk. Went to the blind, said, you can see. Someone touched the hem of his garment, she was healed. Why? Because she believed it to be so. Is anyone else floored by this? All this stuff, all this stuff that James says in class and on service, stuff like that, I guess it's just kind of going, whoo-hoo, sometimes, over my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, of course. No, I'm perfect, whole, and complete. Sure, why not? How? I'm perfect, whole, and complete. Of course I'm perfect, whole, and complete. And I really finally, to say what he always says, I finally got it. Of course, it took my hip going like this for me to get it, and saying, I don't want you to move this leg until you get this. And he told me that, just go, and after he saw me walking, I was like, I can walk. He's like, I know. Good, I'm glad you know. So, and he told me just to go home and rest it and heat it. Put it on a heating pad, take a hot bath. I was like, okay, I'm going to do all those things now. And I had to go home and I had to research this when I heard James say it's the best thing. And my talk tonight is called The Best Talk. Lest you think I was arrogant, but there's also something else on the website that I found. It's the best affirmation. I'm going to read it for you. Today is a great day, and I have the opportunity to show up and be the best me ever. My life is a huge success. My beliefs create my reality. I think big thoughts, relish small pleasures, and handle all things gracefully. I am deeply grateful for all I create and receive. My life is now in total balance, and I am the best. Bringing energy spiritually through is my best. There wasn't when I read that the next day, there wasn't a day that I did not repeat that at least 3 or 4 times. If I felt my hip tightening up at all, I was like, no, I am the best. And I've been able to walk since. I could swing on the rope right now if I wanted to and do the thing right in front of me, and it wouldn't hurt, because now I understand that I can't because I am. I can't pretend or ignore or go back to what I believed before. And I can't live without his love. I can't live without his light. I can't live without his message, because it is me. I can't because I am. Namaste.